Welcome to Session 6 of the Ecological Model Training Seminar. This is Dr. Don Paris. This session will address an array of basic instructional techniques to empower teachers' skills with today's diverse, more challenging classrooms. As mentioned in Session 5, Learning Factors, all educators must possess a variety of interventions that will hopefully minimize the achievement gap and address the varied learning requirements of today's more complex students. Confronted by a myriad of issues related to students' readiness, academic preparation, social-emotional maturity, behavioral issues, and general attitude toward instruction, today's educator must have a repertoire of skills unlike those in prior decades. In particular, some students will enter your classrooms lacking the preparation necessary to perform to rigorous, more demanding standards than in the past. Secondly, others will be influenced by social, emotional, and behavioral factors that must be managed for you to succeed. Another proportion of students will consist of those that don't value the importance of their education, especially in relationship to its long-term benefits upon graduation. This, unfortunately, is a growing proportion of today's adolescents attending our high schools. In response to this change in students' profiles, teachers should examine three significant variables related to their potential success in the classroom setting. First, all students are impacted by family, culture, community, and the general expectations for their students' success in school. If students are entering school lacking this parental support or motivation, this will have a serious impact on any educator's competence and professionalism. Second, learned helplessness is a growing phenomena common to a disproportionate number of students. Learned helplessness is a reflection of both students' developmental issues and those implied parental messages as stated. This reality is impacting students to a degree uncommon in prior decades. Learned helplessness often is a measure of students' apathy, lack of energy and enthusiasm, and a general disregard for the demands of school. Teachers need a highly sophisticated system of positive interventions to change this phenomena. Thirdly, teachers are assigned to develop students' appropriate social behavior. Obviously, this will prove to be the most significant variable of the three if it's not managed successfully. Strategies in this videotape will help teachers arrive to a positive outcome related to each of these factors. After evaluating these three variables, the next assignment is to assess students' learning preferences. Those students are uniquely different in talent, work ethic, and social behavioral development. All will demonstrate a particular preference to different learning activities. Assess their intellectual resources, their desire for multimodality activities, and their social interest in working collaboratively with peers. This will determine the design of instructional lessons, the types of presentations, and the general assessment methods used to evaluate student performance. All instruction should incorporate these three components to maximize student achievement. Under learning resources, stress verbal, mathematical, spatial, and artistic talents to increase students' participation and effort. Under modalities, certainly highlight visual, auditory, and tactile, especially visual, since this generation has been reared by electronics since the preschool years. Finally, under interactive, design social activities within the context of the lesson so that students will maximize their interest in relationship to their peers. These three components will eventually produce a much higher functioning learner with a desire to improve and to maintain the appropriate behavior necessary to their success. 3 sample lessons are presented to illustrate the application of instructional strategies to maximize students' academic talents and learning preferences. Each lesson is a sample from a former consultee who I've trained during my consultation assignments. The first lesson is a passive teacher-directed activity which maximizes control while dispensing facts and information to provide a basic orientation to the material. The second assignment is more interactive in the sense that the students are participating throughout the period to engage in the instructional experience. The third assignment is student-directed with an ample amount of project-based learning where students are socializing during the instruction. While all 3 arrangements have certain advantages, long-term academic progress is greatest using the interactive approach. This encourages students' active participation and socialization, 2 essential aspects of their motivation to learn. Particularly at the elementary level, the vast majority of instruction should parallel this format. At the secondary level, students' maturity will be a slight advantage as long as behavior management interventions are practiced. Young teachers in particular should strive to use the most engaging style possible, even though it implies a certain behavioral risk. As we proceed through the training, the management aspects of instruction will be presented. As highlighted throughout this session, teachers should master a variety of interventions to address the diversity of students' learning potential. Session number 7 will provide detailed explanations of practical interventions to achieve that goal. Please review my website, donparis.com, for additional details. Looking forward to your participation. Thank you.